Yeah, it's. I guess the long and short of it is it's meaningless, which is, but that's very intentional, and it's important to understand, because being meaningless, it actually is extremely adaptive. Where it first came from was after I made a switch in my career from operating roles, having left Crystal Dynamics, and reconsidered sort of my life and what I wanted to do with my work. I thought I would try to work a portfolio of businesses and try to add value as part of a team without actually taking the critical path operating role for any of them. Steve Perlman at Web TV at the time tried to recruit me as CEO. And as enticing as that was, I was very committed to trying this portfolio idea. And so Steve said, well, why don't you try it with me? Why don't you try to let me run the company for a while and make me better and help us with all of the things your experience can help us with, but I'll be the point person. I'll be the CEO because I've got the vision and you've got the experience. And we did it quite successfessly, I must say. And Steve, somewhere through that process, turned around and gave me business cards. And when Steve gave me the business cards said, virtual CEO. And at first, I thought, yeah, it's kind of hokey, virtual CEO. I had already gone through an identity crisis, giving up my last CEO job and my last set of cards that said CEO. And what you realize is once you actually sort of free yourself up from a defined role in the world, it gets very hard to explain who you are and what you do to people at cocktail parties. It's actually quite uncomfortable. And when I talk to CEOs who have left their jobs, or retired, moved on, it's kind of interesting. After about 3 or 4 minutes of chit-chat, they almost always say the same thing. I'm really uncomfortable without that business card. I'm really uncomfortable without that identity. Well, I was sort of uncomfortable. I'd gone through my discomfort and had come out the other side, and he had given me these cards. And at first I thought, well, I don't need them. And then I thought, well, they're kind of nice because in a way, they are an identity. I can hand it to somebody and say, this is who I am and what I do. On the other hand, they are absolutely meaningless. So that every situation that I came to after that was defined around the opportunity, the people, the phase of the company, the challenges of the company. My role was completely adaptive. And so I've kept the title, even though it I think at this point is maybe a little threadbare in some of the circles that I travel in. Nevertheless, I think it's nice to be able to point to an identity and say, I do this, and then have people sort of get puzzled by it.